Thank you, Madam President. Plainfield, good evening.
Good evening.
I can't believe it's been a year ago that I first stood before you to deliver the State of the City address. It doesn't seem like that long. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge again the presence of the Honorable Assemblyman Jerry Green from the 22nd Legislative District. I also want to acknowledge the presence of the mayor from our neighboring city to the east, Mayor Glover from Scotch Plains. And again, we want to acknowledge our favorite freeholder from the County of Union, from the city of Plainfield, Linda Carter. This has been a journey that we have all embarked on together a year or so ago. And so it is that time for me to deliver what we all have come to know as the State of the City address. So let's begin. Members of the City Council, cabinet members, honored guests, fellow Plainfielders, and friends of Plainfield. Estoy contento de presentar el reporte del estado de la ciudad para el 2015. How did I do, Latino friends? I have tried. It's a work in progress. I am pleased to present to you the 2015 State of the City address. Let me begin by congratulating council members who are beginning new 4-year terms. Returning council member Rebecca Williams and our newest council member, Diane Tolliver. I also offer congratulations to Lori Taylor, who was elected to fill the remainder of my council term. And I offer congratulations to Councilwoman Bridget Rivers on her re-election as council president of this great body. I may be wrong, but I don't recall there being a time when a person has served 3 consecutive terms as council president. I also want to congratulate Councilwoman Tracy Brown on her election as chair of the Committee of the Whole. I look forward to working with each and every one of you, as well as Councilwoman Graves and Councilman Storch this year. We cannot move this city forward unless we all come together and work together for the benefit of the city of Plainfield and the people that have elected us to serve. So we must work together. I would like to ask all of the members of my cabinet to stand to be recognized. Cabinet members, will you please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the team, this is my team, and their talent, skills, and commitment are making a difference in Plainfield. When I took office a year ago, I pledged that I will surround myself with decent, competent talent. People who know what needs to be done and how to get it done. And it is because of these members of my cabinet that we have been able to accomplish a great deal in the last 12 months. And finally, I would like to offer a deep personal thank you to my lovely wife, Amelia, my partner and my best friend, who brings dignity and grace to the role of First Lady. Also to our lovely daughters Aisha and Shimona for their love and enthusiastic participation in public service. At the beginning of this new year of 2015, I want to take us back to a year ago, a moment to our reorganization 1 year ago. We faced many challenges: the restructuring of our financial house, crime, and the critical need for economic development. In spite of those challenges, the state of our city is hopeful. And tonight, in 2015, I can report that our hope was justified. One short little year later, my administration has begun a successful transition to financial stability, greater public safety, and a surge in development that is transforming our great city. When I took office in 2014, the state of Plainfield's finances was no secret. I inherited a derelict city government that was devoid of fiscal integrity. Wow. This was not the fault of our city employees, who were doing the best job they could with outdated technology, or no technology at all. Lack of employees in key positions, and no accountability from the former administration. Simply put, the city's finances were thought to be of no significance, and thus were ignored and were not considered a priority for almost 7 years prior to my taking office. It is my firm belief that the financial integrity of any organization is the foundation upon which success is built. Therefore, getting our financial house in order was not only a personal priority for me, a CPA and finance professional, but an imperative for our city if we were to survive and eventually thrive. It is extremely important. We can go nowhere if we don't have the wherewithal to do the things that we know need to be done. So we have got to be able to manage our financial resources in a very credible manner so that we can maximize those resources for the benefit of the people of Plainfield. And here's what my administration did, beginning with our submission of the first on-time budget to the City Council in 8 years. We renegotiated existing contracts and collected back taxes. Those procedures alone saved the city more than $2 million in 2014. Let me repeat. That's over $2 million in 1 year. We are in the process of refinancing Series 2007A bonds, which will save us over $400,000. We hired a CFO, a position that had gone unfilled by a full-time financial professional for more than 8 years. We are allowed to reconcile this allowed us to reconcile our financial records, reconcile our grants. By conducting a cleanup of all capital ordinances, we found and reallocated $653,000 in funds for road repairs. That means that that's $653,000 that we didn't have to come to you a second time in order to find the resources necessary to make some of the capital improvements that we desperately need in our city. And we have begun adding new software that will allow all city offices to operate with speed and efficiency that our residents deserve. It is not too much for our residents to expect their government to function at a level of efficiency that renders it capable of delivering on its promises and meeting their most important needs. By taking care of business at City Hall, business that had for so long being left undone, my administration accomplished these initiatives. We opened the Veterans Building and took the necessary step to transfer ownership from the developer to the city of Plainfield. A partial payment on the huge debt of gratitude that we owe to each and every one of our veterans who have put their lives on the line for us so that we can enjoy the level of freedom that we enjoy today, and so that I can stand here as the mayor of the city of Plainfield. Nothing we give to our veterans is too much. They deserve even more. We also drafted a vacant properties ordinance, never on the books in Plainfield, which requires owners of vacant properties to register and maintain their properties. We renegotiated the Comcast franchise agreement, which had expired in 2010, bringing added revenue to the city of Plainfield. We also renegotiated an agreement for Liberty Village after years of neglect by the previous owners, adding new amenities, improving living conditions for the residents, and bringing added revenue to the city. I don't have to tell you that had we not done that, the residents of Liberty Village would have been put out in the cold. And that would not have been a good thing. Housing, decent housing, is important to every human being. It is a right that we all should enjoy. With the council's support, we instituted real fines for illegal alcohol sales and required extra security for bars with enforcement problems, ending the practice of sending Plainfield police officers and letting residents pay the bills. We put an end to that. We hired a full-time health officer and have inspected more than 2/3 of the city's restaurants, a process that was ignored for years. We cannot afford to have people come into our restaurants with the knowledge that the restaurants have not been inspected for years. We have a responsibility to make sure that our restaurants, that our bars are all operating in the healthiest state that is possible. So the hiring of our health officer and the work that we have accomplished in the last year is something that we all can be proud of. We can now eat and feel good in Plainfield restaurants. All union contracts through 2017 were settled. All 7 of our unions, police, fire, public works, and municipal managers and employees, whose contracts expired in 2013 and who worked without a contract for most of last year. I expect a lot from our employees. I do. And it is reasonable for them to expect to be treated fairly. I am proud of the excellent members of my administration who performed their jobs admirably. I am not proud of where we were, of where we came from. But I can tell you tonight with certainty that procedurally and administratively, Plainfield is no longer a second-class city. We can now hold our own with any city in the state of New Jersey. I made a second pledge last year, and that pledge was to return the streets and neighborhoods to our citizens and make them safe everywhere across the city. I said then that it is not in our power to eradicate crime, but it is in our power, and it is our duty and our responsibility to provide a safe environment for all of our citizens. Tonight, I am proud to report that our public safety director and the men and women who serve our city so well in the Plainfield Police Department have fulfilled that pledge. 2014 saw a 67% drop in the murder and manslaughter rate and an overall decrease of 11% in all violent crimes. We saw a 73% drop in arson and a 26% reduction in motor vehicle theft, for an overall decrease of 6% in nonviolent property crimes. In fact, we saw a reduction in 8 of the 9 categories of criminal activity in Plainfield in 2014. I want you to know that Plainfield is a safe city, and a safe city is a strong city, and we all can be proud knowing that Plainfield is a safe city to live, work, and play. But this did not happen by accident. Last year, I promised that our policemen and women would be fully engaged with the Central Business District and the South Avenue Business District. And in 2014, we redeployed patrols in these areas and throughout the city. During the patrols, it was in the process of these patrols that our officers walked their beats and became a familiar presence, a practice that will continue this year and beyond. We've got to return to the days of the beat cop. I am confident that our crime rate will see further reductions in 2015 with the installation of 30 high-definition cameras at various locations throughout the entire city, and funded at no cost to you, the taxpayers of the city of Plainfield. We will also outfit 20 patrol vehicles with GPS systems with funding from a technology grant the police division received. These systems will decrease our response time and will support officer safety. The end result will be a real-time crime center for Plainfield, which includes analytics, surveillance cameras, and sensor technology. Our public safety efforts will continue and will be enhanced by an initiative that I announced in the latter part of last year. Light up Plainfield, light up our city. This initiative, which was implemented toward the end of 2014, and through this initiative, we identified and replaced many of the broken lights across the city. And we are installing new lights to illuminate many of the dark areas throughout the city. Plainfield is leading the way in urban policing and crime reduction. And we are making our city safe for all of our residents and businesses. This is has been a pledge, and I am so proud that we have been able to honor this pledge. And that brings me to my final pledge, the final element of the transformation of our city: economic development. Last year, I pledged to continue my advocacy for the one-seat ride to New York City on the New Jersey Transit Raritan line. 1 year ago, we had no direct trains to New York, none. Tonight, I am proud to note that New Jersey Transit has officially posted the new 2015 rail schedule for the Raritan Valley line, effective January 11th, with a total of 16 direct trains overall. We have yet to see direct trains during peak hours, but I am convinced that this will become a reality this year. I met not too long ago with leaders in Trenton, and I know through their efforts, funding was secured in order to make sure that we get more direct trains into New York City. And so Plainfield will continue to grow. And many of you have heard that every minute saved going in and out of Manhattan results in the increase of property values an average of $3,000 for every minute. We said last year that the one-seat service was vital if Plainfield was to attract new businesses and new residents. And we have already seen the results. The value of a Plainfield home increased by approximately 2% in the last year. And we have seen the impact in commercial real estate as well. Construction and leasing are on the way in our downtown and on South Avenue with more activity than has been seen in Plainfield in decades. We have revised our permitting and licensing process to attract developers and to improve the quality of life for Plainfielders. Too many times have I heard that Plainfield was not business friendly. And my pledge was that I would change that. And we have taken the steps to make sure that we free ourselves of that reputation and that businesses will see Plainfield as a place that is inviting, where they want to come and do business, and prospective homeowners would want to come here and live. We are transforming the city of Plainfield. I am so proud to note that Plainfield's unemployment rate has already shown vast improvements, dropping by 4.5% in the first 6 months of 2014. As our local economy improves, we must be certain that our residents are ready for these new opportunities. In 2014, my administration partnered with the U.S. Postal Service on a job fair that drew 800 participants, and with FedEx Freight and Plainfield Board of Education on a job fair that drew 200 participants. We are working with the New Jersey Department of Labor and the Edison Job Corps. We established the Hyatt Regency New Brunswick Partnership, and we conducted numerous small business workshops, and 35 Plainfield businesses are online through our partnership with Google. That's a partnership that I brought back when I attended the National Conference of Mayors back in the winter of 2014. My administration is also following through on our commitment to communication. Communication is key. People want to hear from you. They want to know what you're doing. Your story must be told. Because of you, our residents, ask for it this year. We have initiated weekly email blasts from my office and put a mass communication system in place to provide telephone and email alerts. We begun my weekly office hours on Wednesday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m., open to all Plainfield residents. We held community hearings on the Muhlenberg Hospital site and completed a study that will help us take the critical first steps toward the redevelopment of that campus. We held a summit on police and community relations. And as a result, this year, we will implement the police chaplain program, creating a partnership among law enforcement, clergy, and the community. I am, and we should be, very proud of our police officers. our firefighters, these public safety workers who put their lives on the line every day. And in spite of what we have seen in the media with our own eyes, I am proud to say that in Plainfield, we don't have that problem here. Our officers are committed, dedicated public servants who treat you and me as they would want to be treated. And I'm very proud of that. We open online registration for all recreation programs using Community Pass, the industry standard following the recommendation of the Citizens Budget Advisory Committee. We appointed members of PACHA, P-A-C-H-A, that stands for the Plainfield Advisory Commission on Hispanic Affairs. Hispanics/Latinos are over 40% of our population. And we cannot afford to exclude anyone. Everyone deserves a seat at the table. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect and must have a place, a seat at the table. And so the Latinos in this community are going to be treated with the dignity and the respect that they deserve from my administration. My appointments to the commission were the first that were made since 2010, and we will work with them beginning this month to assist on issues around President Obama's executive order on immigration. And we have begun work on a new improved city website, fulfilling another pledge made last year. I should also mention Executive Policy 248. I have made it crystal clear to all cabinet members that a sense of urgency is important to me and that our residents deserve their prompt attention and response. This policy simply says that requests made by residents and businesses to my administration for service must be responded to within 24 to 48 hours. Thus, Executive Policy 248. Come on, you should get that. All requests must be acknowledged by someone within my administration. No one will be ignored. I said last year that we must renew our commitment to our city. And I rejoice in that renewed commitment. Many of our resources here in Plainfield are thriving. Our historic districts, our recreation system, and our open space, which will be improved as a direct result of the open space referendum passed last November. This year we received national recognition as one of America's most exciting small cities and one of New Jersey's most caring cities. That is something that we ought to be very proud of. Those of us who live here know that we deserve these titles and they enhance our pride in Plainfield. Our final but critically important note, I should say one final but critically important note. My administration has created a constructive working relationship with the Plainfield Public Schools. And I commend Superintendent Anna Beelan-Piles and the Board of Education for their work. This past September marked the first anniversary of the Maxon STEM Academy. Warmly welcome right here in these chambers a group of students, parents, teachers, and administrators from the Academy who presented an idea for a community garden. I am pleased to announce that the city will partner with the students from the Maxim STEM Academy to create community gardens on Berkeley Terrace. Tonight, I pledge this. You can clap. Tonight, I pledge the city's continued support for our schools. And I ask all Plainfielders, those who live in the city and those who own businesses and properties in our city, to commit as well. Plainfield will not achieve all of its full potential until we educate all of our children and give them the future that they deserve. And my administration will do everything in its power, working in close partnership with the Board of Education and with Superintendent Anna Beelan-Piles to make that happen. We have come far since I stood here before you last year. At times, it's hard to see progress. We live in the day-to-day, and we can become discouraged by petty politics and minor disagreements. But those are not the things that should hold us back. We must put it aside. And as I mentioned earlier in my remarks, I said I want to work with every one of the members of the governing body, because that is extremely important. So that is why it is so good to stop and take stock of what we have accomplished working together. We can't do it by being apart. If we exploit the synergy that exists amongst us, we can do great things for the city of Plainfield. I am proud to report that tonight, January 5th, 2015, we have begun our transformation. And the state of our city is strong. We look forward to this new year with optimism and goodwill and a deep, abiding faith that together we are creating a Plainfield that is rising to new heights. The diversity of our city creates a rich tapestry that gives us a unique strength and the ability to build un Plainfield, un futuro. One Plainfield, one future. Thank you for the trust that you have placed in me as your mayor. I wish you and all of your family a happy, prosperous, and blessed new year. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.